Hello everybody, this is Mark Hutten, and today I want to talk to those parents who suspect that their child may have Asperger's or high-functioning autism. A lot of these parents want to know, should we seek a diagnosis? If so, when? And how do you go about that? So we'll look at those questions today. Now, we can take care of this first question pretty quickly and easily. Should you seek a formal diagnosis if you suspect your child has Asperger's? The answer is absolutely yes, because quite simply, if you don't know that you have Asperger's, you're going to have the symptoms of Asperger's anyway. It's much better to know, because if you know, you can work on your areas of challenge or your weaknesses, and you can capitalize or leverage the positive aspects of Asperger's. When should you seek a diagnosis? Well, all kids have their quirks, and many toddlers show a sign or symptom of Asperger's syndrome at some point. It's natural for small children to be egocentric, and many children show a strong interest in a particular topic, such as dinosaurs or a favorite fictional character, so these generally aren't reasons to be alarmed. However, if your elementary school child has frequent problems in school or seems unable to make friends, it's probably time to talk to your child's doctor. These difficulties have many possible causes, but developmental disorders such as Asperger's need to be considered. Children who have behaviors that interfere with learning and social development should have a comprehensive psychiatric evaluation. Okay, now let's look at exactly how you go about the business of seeking a diagnosis. You'll probably first see your child's pediatrician or family doctor, who will likely refer your child to a mental health expert, for example, a child psychologist or psychiatrist. Being well prepared can help you, as the parent, make the most out of your appointment with this mental health expert. So here are some ideas to help you get ready for this appointment and what you can expect from your doctor. One of the first things you want to do in preparation for an appointment is to write down the questions that you have. No doubt you've asked yourself many questions over the previous weeks or months or even years. So brainstorm with your spouse all the questions, unanswered questions that you have, and be prepared to take those to the doctor's office. Another thing you want to do is write down any symptoms that you've noticed in your child, including any of those symptoms that may seem totally unrelated to Asperger's or high-functioning autism. You'll also want to write down any key personal information, for example, any major stresses or recent life changes that have occurred in the family. Also, you want to make a list of any medications, as well as any vitamins or supplements that your child is taking. And you may even want to consider to ask a family member or friend to join you and your child for this appointment. A lot of times it's very difficult to soak up all the information provided in one appointment, especially if you have a lot of questions up front. So someone who accompanies you to this appointment may remember something that you missed or forgot. Now, in addition to the questions that you may come up with on your list, I would encourage you to include the following. What kinds of tests does my child need? What treatments can help? Are there any specialized programs available to help educate my child regarding social skills? What should I tell his teachers? What should I tell other family members? And also, what changes in his diet or her diet will be able to help? Preparing a list of questions ahead of time will help save time for the things you want to discuss most. So I would encourage you to list your questions from the most important to the least important in case time runs out. In addition to the questions that you've prepared to ask your doctor, don't hesitate to ask any additional questions that you think of while you're there. Because as is usually the case, once you start talking to the doctor, you're going to have a lot more questions. In other words, the more information you get, the more questions you'll have. Now, your doctor's likely to ask you a number of questions as well. For example, have you noticed a change in your child's level of frustration in social settings? What are some of your child's favorite activities? Is there one that your child favors most? Does he or she have close friends? What, if anything, appears to worsen your child's symptoms? Does anything seem to improve your child's symptoms? Have these problematic behaviors been continuous or occasional? And when did you first notice these symptoms in your child? And what specific behaviors prompted your visit today? So these are likely to be some of the questions that your doctor may ask you. Asperger's and high-functioning autism can be a difficult, lonely disorder, both for affected children and their parents. The disorder brings difficulties socializing and communicating with your child. It may also mean fewer play dates and birthday invitations and more stares at the grocery from people who don't understand that a child's meltdown is part of a disability, not the result of bad parenting. But fortunately, as this disorder gains widespread recognition and attention, there are more and more sources for help. And getting a formal diagnosis early is the beginning of getting that help.